Hi everyone. In today's video we have a special guest, Micheal O'Hearn. He keeps adding more and more. From being natty now, he's also saying he suffers from low testosterone levels. Wow, the bulge meter is going crazy over there. I'm going over this interview, and we'll see what he says.
I talked to you about this a long time ago. You gotta come through and do the Jack in the Box, what's at the bottom of the trick or treat, and see if you can find the trend at the house.
That's what I want to do.
Really? If Kenny KO comes to his house and he doesn't find trend, does that mean he's never taken it? That's not a proof that he is natural.
So is the legend, the Titan, still natty?
Well, no.
You're
I've
not?
never been natty, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
Come on. He dodges the question by answering it, but then saying it's a joke. So what he does is he plays things up, says, "Yes, I've been on trend since birth. Of course I have, right? Everyone has doubted that he is in fact natural, but he continues to say it, and I don't think that now he'll ever say the truth to the people."
Since you've been unnatural your whole life,
I came out trend up.
What was your favorite compound? Trend?
Squats.
Kenny has to work around to try to get an answer from Micheal, and so he tries to make him admit something by asking him what he thinks it would be a good compound to take. So, they joke around, saying that he would be a good fit for the role of Homelander from the series The Boys, and that he would be the character whose superpower is taking trenbolone longer than anyone.
Real
Yes,
question.
go.
Are you actually on like TRT though?
What would be the point though?
I mean, because men's hormone levels dip as they get older.
No, they don't.
Not to
No,
call
they
you,
don't.
not to
No,
call
no,
you
no, no.
old by any
No, no,
means,
no.
because you found the
They
fountain of
don't.
youth.
I mean, really? Does he really not believe that as you age that your testosterone levels may go down? Come on. Or is it just wishful thinking?
No, because you guys say that. And so the
No, that's
idea...
medical science.
No, it isn't.
Have you gotten your levels checked?
So what is a low?
Says he has low test level. Well, it depends. But for the most part, most people sit in the range between 250 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. The average person probably being somewhere between 5 and 600.
See, that's the thing. You guys go, hey, you know what? When you're 20, you're like, and then when you're 50, you're like 0.
No one actually said that. We said that your testosterone decreases as you got older, not that it will suddenly drop to 0. Otherwise, every man above the age of 40 or 50 will be on doctor-prescribed HRT. The question was, what's your testosterone levels?
Mona, come here. Come here. Mona, come here. Let me see your abs.
Why?
Watch this.
your
Watch
abs.
this. Watch this. Let me see your abs.
Hit a flex for the people.
Let me see your abs.
Yeah. Oh, she's got better abs than I do, for sure.
Why?
Because
She just had a kid. She's 46 years old. Why does she have better abs than you?
Just because you bring in your wife, who clearly has defined six-pack and huge biceps, doesn't mean that you don't have low testosterone levels. And how do we know she's natural too? How do we know that your wife is not somebody taking supplements? So Mike's starting to try to put down Kenny, saying, you know, my wife who's 46 and just had a kid has better abs than you. Why is that? There are many reasons. She has great genetics. Her diet is better. She trains hard. She might be on PED, but that doesn't mean that Mike is natural.
Now, at your strongest, f***ing juiced up and strong, were you ever stronger than me at 14 or 15 years old?
Oh, I don't know.
Why?
So clearly the answer is because of genetics, Mike. His genetics are amazing. Paired that with the use of PED and working hard in the gym, and that is why he has such a great and strong physique. But trying to say to Kenny, well, I was stronger than you when I was 14 and you were in your 20s. How do we know if this is true? That he was actually stronger than him? Moreover, how do we know if he was natural at that age?
But were you natural when you were in your teens?
Well, how could I compete throughout my entire career doing drug tests and TV shows and everything that I was doing, drug tested, and never?
Just because you're in a drug-tested competition doesn't mean you're natural. Take Lance Armstrong. He won the Tour de France while on PED, and he wasn't busted until later. So, that does not prove that you're in fact natural. During these times was he actually tested?
But you're not even stronger or more muscular than a mid-40 who's older than you,
Yeah.
that had a kid.
Now he is acting a little bit rude with Kenny. And how do we know that she's stronger than Kenny? Does she bench press more than him? Or perhaps deadlift more?
How could I be this size as a 15-year-old kid and be this size closing in on 60?
Well, quite possibly he might have been on PED. There are kids who have come out saying that they are on steroids at the age of 14, the so-called gobbling SARMs generation. It's quite a trend right now. And so, Just because Mike was 15 or 16 years old and had the size and strength of people 10 years older than him, doesn't mean he was natural at that time. Maybe he was taking something then. We don't know. But what I know is saying that you're a massive at 15 or 16 and still massive at 50 and over doesn't prove that you're natural. It's the opposite. It hints that you were probably taking something. He wants people to not think that they have limits, that genetic doesn't matter. Just work hard and you can have a physique like him. Unfortunately, this is not true. Genetics play a massive role in this. That gives people unrealistic expectations, and this is wrong. People start training and they find out that they can't look like him, and so what? Many will give up the gym, saying it's not worth it. Others will resort to steroids, thinking that probably this is the only way to get amazing physique. He is sending out misinformation, distorting the truth, and this will only cause harm. So, I don't like what he is saying here.
Do steroids make you Mr. Olympia?
No.
Only an elite of people can think of become Mr. Olympia. To get there you need a combination of amazing genetics, hard work, dedication, diet, and PD. The average man would never be like Chris Bumstead.
But what I was saying about the TRT comment is I didn't know if you did blood work back in the day, like in your 20s, 30s.
I've been low testosterone my entire life.
Come on. He says that he had low testosterone for his entire life, and we all know that low testosterone makes really hard to build muscle. Therefore, how it is possible to explain him having all these muscles as a teenager? I'll tell you how. Perhaps he was taking PED, like Trenbolone, Primo, Masterone, that cause the suppression of body's own natural testosterone production. And so by abusing PED, your test levels go down, and when you get your blood work done, guess what? It will show that you have low testosterone other compounds. Oftentimes people think that by using steroids or SARMs your testosterone will be high. This is not true. In fact, the base of all steroid cycle is testosterone, because you have to compensate for the reduction caused by the steroids themselves to your natural production of testosterone. When you take this androgenic compounds, like Tren and Avar, D-ball, your body is getting these androgenic signals coming from these compounds, and so it senses there is no need to produce testosterone naturally, and therefore your levels will go down. But if he doesn't inject testosterone and still use, for example, Tren, his blood work will show low test levels, although he will still put on muscle and strength thanks to the action of Tren.
Come on.
That's not true. There is no study that shows that having low testosterone is beneficial for your joints. It seems like his saying that his low test levels were in fact the reason why he was able to get jacked and build all this muscle. You see, it doesn't make sense.
Do you know what your level was?
I'm at 400. Yeah.
Have you been there your entire life?
Yeah.
And so just based on how he responds to Kenny, it just seems like he's making it up. He seems like he's throwing away numbers. He says his testosterone levels were always at 400. It's kind odd. In fact, normally testosterone levels fluctuate. When you're eating more and have more energy, your test levels tend to go up. On the other end, as you diet down, your test levels will decrease. The more you get near single-digit body fat, the less test you have in your body.
I'm not saying you're not strong because you weren't stronger than me.
Not.
Nobody was stronger than me at 15.
Hell no.
So, Mike O'Hearn, as a natural 15-year-old, was stronger than every human being in the world. I don't recall him holding records in powerlifting.
It's not genetics. It's the mother that puts in the work every single day.
Hard work is important, yes. Nobody would deny it. If you don't train hard, you won't grow. However, hard work cannot compensate for your bad genetics. In fact, Kenny replied to him saying he has amazing genetics.
You can't deny you have top-tier genetics.
I didn't know that until now.
Really, until this very moment during this interview at age 54, he suddenly realized that he has above average genetics. He thought all along it was just hard work. Really? Are you kidding me?
I will never be the guy that says I have genetics.
Because you were 16 more jacked than dudes.
No, but I started at 9.
Huh?
I started at 9.
Exactly.
It's not how early you start. Whether or not you have great genetics or not, it's not affected by the age you start training. The genetics are predetermined in your DNA. You can't change them. As I said earlier, he has great genetics, along with hard work and supplements. That's how he built and now maintain his fantastic physique. Finally, Mike is making some sense. He's saying at the age of 20 you have higher testosterone levels. At 50 it doesn't go down to nothing. If you eat right, Train right and do all the proper things, your testosterone levels are not going to decline to nothing. But they still go down, slowly over time, but they do. And if they get too low, you might need to go on HRT. As you can see, it was a burst of nonsense. He just made up things. His amazing physique was the results only of hard work, even though it has low test for his entire life.
Come on.
This is absurd. If you want to know more about diet and nutrition and why 95% of diets fail, check my nutrition book. I'll give you all the info you need to lose weight and keep it off for good. Hope you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share it with your friends. See you on the next one.